Hi, aligned souls. Welcome to the Soul Revival podcast, where we have meaningful conversations to help you explore tools and healing methods that help you return to your soul self. Join us as we help you merge the ethereal and the material worlds, allowing you to live your most fulfilling and aligned life. I'm Lindsay Stanton, author, somatic practitioner, intuitive Reiki master, and grief coach.
Hello, I am Autumn, a believer in miracles, intuitive guide, and psychic medium. We're your hosts and guides. We don't just talk healing, we live it. This is where soul meets strategy, spirit meets structure, and our highest selves take the mic.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Soul Revival podcast.
I am so excited for this one, Lindsay.
Yes, me too. I feel like today's topic is such an important one. And as we talked about before we hit record today, this is definitely going to be a topic that we expand upon, that we will have guests talk about because it's such a big, important topic. But what we want to talk about today really is what the body tells you, which is essentially what somatics is. And so, for those who are new to our podcast and maybe haven't listened to the episode where we talk about who we are and what we do as healers, I felt very called early in my journey to learn more about somatics and somatic therapy. And it really is, it connects so deeply to Reiki and in general, like the energy and information that our body holds. And that's really what somatics is. It's what is your body teaching you, telling you, cueing you into, whether it's through feeling good, whether it's through feeling injured, whether it's through disease and illness, whether it's through just felt sensation. Oftentimes, so much of what our body tries to cue us into is related to our central nervous system. And so, somatics really is the ability to uncover and help people understand what their body's telling them. And oftentimes it does uncover things that they weren't even aware of, maybe things that they've been storing or holding on to since childhood, or even, as an adult, that they aren't even aware of. And it helps us, it's a tool to help us reveal deep-seated sources behind areas that you might be struggling or that might be actually blocking you that you're not even fully aware of. So it's really cueing in to the body as our teacher.
It's like every pain, every ache, every flutter, every cue that our body sends a sensation through is a whisper of wisdom, of something that's going on internally. Through somatics, I mean, somatics can be walking, exercising, it could be dancing to shake out the emotions that are stored. There's a wide range of ways that you can move the energy through your body. But I think that this is such a great topic because a lot of people don't pay attention to their cues. I think that I was raised mind over matter. If you don't put your mind on the ache or the pain, it doesn't matter. You can push through. You can just push through it. Just don't pay attention to it. But those screams are screaming to you for a reason. And it's very empowering when you start trusting yourself to tap into what is my body telling me. Because it's always talking through you. Like my intuition, I'll get chills, like full body chills, or my heart will start racing, and that's a way that my body's talking to me that something's in alignment with me, something's calling for me. um you know Safety in the body is a journey back home to yourself, and I'm so glad that you're trained in this, because I'm excited to hear all of, like, the wisdom that you carry and the examples that you carry through clients of breakthroughs that they've had.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point, and especially if you are, I mean, no matter what, if it's joy, if it's resonance, if it's intuition, if it's grief, your body is cueing you in on things. And I know early on, before I talk about clients, I'll share early on in my grief journey and my, blowing the doors off of my intuition, I had so many feelings of felt sense in my body before I learned about somatics and what it really meant. But my body was cueing me in, and I used my body as a validator of information. And I'll give an example. So, there were a series of intuitive hits I was getting about something, and I was pretty confident that they were intuitive hits and that Roger was sending them to me. And so I asked him, and I had started to notice that I would get ringing sensation in my ear or vibration in my ear. Um, at certain times that I was thinking about these things, or that ideas or downloads or information was coming to me. And so I just intuitively asked him, "Is that you validating this decision?" And then my ear did it again. And so, like you just mentioned, like that was my body was cueing me in. And also, so many of the clients I work with, and this is my lived experience as well, I always ask them if they're not sure if something was a sign or a message, what did you feel when that happened? When you saw that hawk, when that hummingbird landed on your hand, when the butterfly circled you, when a song came on the radio out of nowhere that, was like specific to your loved one, what did your body feel? Because we get a high vibrational sensation in our body that's a validator when we're getting signs and messages. And the more we listen and trust in that, the more we get, and the more we can start to learn what our body is sharing with us. And it taps us into the magic available through our physical body as well.
That's like the sway test, Lindsay. The sway test is phenomenal. Our human bodies, our physical bodies, are actual pendulums when it comes to yes or no questions. Our cells vibrate and are aligned with our higher self. So if you're asking a yes or no question, there's a whole sway test modality where your body will sway forward for a yes answer and sway backwards for a no answer. And it is valid every single time that I have to use it. I also just want to highlight how your solar plexus chakra, your gut feeling always knows too, like if it's something for you or if it's not. And a lot of the times when we stop listening to our physical body, that's when dis-ease starts in the body. I know that one of my life lessons was boundaries. I had to learn boundaries. I could not keep people pleasing. And during that process of learning boundaries and trying to stick with them, because I could say a boundary, but then when the universe tests me with that example, sticking to it was really hard for me. But it started. I started having neck problems. Like my neck would get really stiff and really sore, and it would be hard for me to move. And through journaling and asking questions through my physical body, I learned that that was coming from me not staying firm on my boundaries.
I think that's a really good point. And I think it goes both ways. So your body is going to tell you things that boundaries that you need to set and respect. And then vice versa, when you don't implement things, your body is going, can like create issues. For example, I've got a client I'm working with right now. The reason we're talking about this today specifically is this has been coming up a lot with clients, a lot with everybody I know. I mean, I just feel like because we're in a time right now that can be challenging for a lot of people, I feel like a lot of old wounds and things that your body is storing are coming up for a lot of people right now. And especially if you're going through something very specific individually that's challenging, I feel like this is a huge conversation. But I've got a client that I'm working with right now, and he had a major loss and recent major loss that he's grieving. And he is definitely a people pleaser, and that's been like his go-to. And we're talking a lot about setting boundaries because his body is telling him grief causes exhaustion. Hard stop. You are way more tired. I don't, even if you're 5 years in on your grief journey, your boundaries around sleep just are going to be different than they used to be. I just have to say that. And so your baseline is going to be tired. If you add on top of that, not listening to your body and saying yes to everybody, even though you should be saying no and staying home and tapping into what your body's telling you you need to do to heal instead of distracting yourself and causing and creating more chaos, then you don't give yourself the opportunity to tune in to what you truly need to heal. And what you truly need to heal for no one is more chaos and more distractions and more material things. That is the answer for no one. I can tell you that for sure. And so when you create the space and guard your space, and that could even be like from other family members, it could be from your friends, like, and that's the thing, they're going to respect it. You just have to set the boundary, like Autumn just mentioned. So if you don't want to do the thing, and that's one of the things I think is so important about, just somatics and listening to your body. If you do not want to do the thing, if your body doesn't feel like hell yes energy or even just mediocre energy towards doing something, if you have a feeling of like, ugh, do not do the thing, do not commit to doing the thing, it will serve no one for you to commit to doing the thing because you're going to exhaust yourself. The other person is probably going to be miserable because you forced something that wasn't meant for either one of you at the time. And especially if you're in grief, because we're already running at a baseline of being tired, probably borderline exhausted, because our bodies are trying to heal and wrap our heads and cells around like what's happened, why our lives have just taken this huge shift, right? And that takes physical energy for your body to try to deal with. And that goes for trauma as well. So that's your baseline. If you're adding on top of that lots of, energetic distractions, whether it's, committing to doing sporting events with friends or, going out or going on trips or whatever it is that you're committing to that doesn't help you on your healing journey, all you're doing is extending the amount of time it's going to take you to get to a good healing space, first of all. And second of all, nothing, at least in my experience, and I know a lot of people I work with, nothing crashes you faster and puts you into a black hole of overwhelm faster than adding too much to your plate. And adding too much to your plate can be one thing if you're in grief, because it's not going to be what it used to be. Like, you might have been able to do 12 things at once before, or take on, 10 meetings during a day and go out at night or whatever. All that, consider it a clean slate, because everything you did before, you're now changed, you're forever different. And I feel like the more we can normalize that and standardize that as a conversation and a culture, then the more invitation we have to actually help people heal in a healthy way. And your body always tells you, I mean, this client, like, I ask him what feels good to him, and it's going on a bike ride. It's not like setting time to go be busy with a bunch of people, it's like going for a walk or, writing things down or meditating. Those are the things that are resonating with his body instead of just saying yes to every distraction out there.
So for those people that are kind of learning their boundaries, what they want to do, how they want their new clean slate to be, do you recommend them waiting 24 hours before they respond a yes or no?
Yes, that is such a great recommendation, Autumn. And like, also, and I had this very conversation with this client actually, if there's something that, okay, let's say the grief example, let's just stay on that train. And this could be the case for anything, but if something comes along your path that you 100% would have said yes to pre-grief, because it's a great opportunity, or if it's something exciting, whether it's, a business, doing something with a friend, don't say yes right away. Wait, because your body, like Autumn just suggested with the 24 hours, and maybe it's even longer than that depending on how big the commitment is. But I just shared with him because he had a big decision to make. And I just shared with him, if it's meant for you, it will come back around. If the timing is not aligned because you're grieving right now and it's too much for you to take on, if it's truly meant for you, it will come back around. You don't have to, I mean, this goes the kids for everything, right? I mean, you and I live this every day, Autumn, but you don't have to force it. And so if you think that it's going to, at some level, exhaust you or make it harder on your healing journey in any capacity, give it some space because if it's truly meant for you, you don't need to force it. And so that might look like not saying yes right now, or I can't commit to this right now, but I'm very excited about it. I just can't commit to it right now. And starting to set those boundaries. So, like saying no 25% of the time if you're a people pleaser, like the example that I'm giving, saying no 25% of the time and testing it out. And on the other side of it, you're gonna be like, oh, whoa, this feels good. And I really feel like oftentimes that can be part of our soul's growth is like feeling good in knowing that we can say no and we don't have to please everybody else because ultimately we're not pleasing anybody unless we're pleasing ourselves. We have an exciting opportunity to share with you.
Did you know inside the Soul Revival community we have a giveaway? One lovely soul is gifted something sacred. A Reiki session, an intuitive reading, a powerful course, or even access into the community itself. This isn't just a giveaway. It's a soul blessing, a moment where healing meets divine timing. You'll feel the shift, you'll see the signs, and you'll know you're not alone anymore. Say yes to your intuition, your healing, your next chapter. Enter now at the link below in the show notes labeled Soul Revival Giveaway for your chance to win.
Let's get back to today's episode. So, yeah. And so just tapping into that energy of your body is so important. And if you're grieving, if you've got loved ones on the other side, respecting your body and listening to your body's cues also opens you up to communication from the other side. So, because you're more in tune with yourself, you're now going to be more open and in tune to receive messages too.
And I feel that if you're one that maybe has no idea what their body even feels like, maybe just waking up and spending 5 minutes in the morning stretching, just getting that energy going through the meridian and moving, you're going to start opening your intuition more. Just allowing that energy to flow is going to allow you to open and receive more guidance and messages intuitively. I love that topic of the no too. I just keep going back to that. Say no 25% of the time, because I come from people pleasing too. And Lindsay, I just want to mention on here, I don't know if many people know this about me, but I have episodes of rheumatoid arthritis. So it comes about when I'm very stressed and in stressful situations. I think it's very important. My guides tell me how important it is not to attach to the identity of having rheumatoid arthritis. Oh, it's upon me right now. That is okay. We can get this back in remission. We can get this back to rest. I was going through a deep episode after my giving birth to my son back in January, and I knew it was here. I was trying to get through it myself. I needed help from a doctor, which is okay too. But it's just so important, whatever you're going through, whatever dis-ease you have in the body, not to attach to it as an identity. Allow your body to explore it, but your body is strong enough and has enough willpower with your free will to fight through anything because our bodies are alive. And when we use them as a sense like we do any of our other senses, they will work for us and not against us as long as we give them that light and that frequency of love in the space that they need to heal. It's really empowering.
I agree completely. And I think also if you're on a journey with your intuition, doing this work, not just to help yourself heal and set boundaries, but also cueing into your body and what it's trying to teach you and tell you about your receptive style and how, what your clairs are, for example, like how you receive information from loved ones on the other side, or, angels or God, or whoever, or however you receive communication. There's so many felt senses in the body as well. And I could see that that definitely just triggered something for you.
Spirit just gave me a huge download. So most of us, we spend our spirits or our souls are kind of just like outside of our physical bodies. Um, Being able to just sit and bring that spirit back into itself by feeling through your physical body, it's spiritual embodiment. So bringing that spirit back into your physical body, because guess what? You're safe now. You can hold yourself in love. You have all of this support around you, and it doesn't have to be physical support. I love the support from my spirit team way more than physical support because I know that their guidance is never wrong. They're never going to guide me the wrong direction. So knowing that my body is safe to bring my spirit back home to itself and align it back to the heart is healing. And I feel like a lot of people in today's world, the collective consciousness just being in that fear state, don't being in fear state is okay, but allow yourself to know that your physical body is safe and you don't have to fear being home with that physical body.
Yeah, and I also would say, so I think what you just mentioned kind of piggybacks what we talked about earlier, and that is that creating chaos and overwhelm is actually a fear state. So the whole reason you do that is because you fear the quiet and you fear what answers you're going to be guided to in the quiet. And so it is so important to, and the only way you can regulate, the only way you can get your nervous system to be regulated and not in fight, flight, or fawn mode, which I'll explain in a second. So for those who aren't aware of the three different states our body can be in. So, fight, obviously, we all know what that is. Like you're revved up, you're ready to go. You want to, you're going to shut down whoever or whatever is what you perceive is coming at you. Flight is you just want to flee the situation. And both of these you can totally feel in your nervous system. Like you're either ready to go, amped up, or you just want to take off and escape the situation. Or fawn is like going completely numb. All those feelings, and we all experience them at different points, and it's our biology and our need to survive that created those to begin with. But now we're having those responses when we receive a text or an email or a phone call or somebody cuts us off in traffic. And so our body is having those like hyper responses to minor everyday things because we're not using tools to help us regulate. We haven't addressed deeper healing that needs to occur. And the more you do this deeper healing work, and it's never done, right? I mean, we're always here doing this work. I mean, you and I are practitioners, but we also are living and doing this work ourselves every single day, and we'll never be done. We will never be done.
Oh.
um, but I mean, it's just part of being human. But the more you do the work, the more you implement simple tools to help your system regulate. And it really is so much about it all comes back to the nervous system and getting your nervous system regulated, which can happen through a myriad of things, breath work, movement practices, mindfulness. There's so many different simple tools that you can take with you. I mean, I talk to clients all the time about like if you're at an event with family and they're like setting you over the top, you're getting trigger after trigger, go to the bathroom and do some 4x4 breath work. Three series of 4x4 breath work, and it's amazing the regulation you can create for your nervous system. And the more you do it, the more it becomes like an automatic switch that your body flips on. You might have that hyper reaction at first when somebody cuts you off on the road, but all of a sudden, after doing this work for a while, you find yourself like just going into regulation mode automatically. You didn't need to do the breath work even. But the more we practice these things and the more we figure out what tools resonate with our bodies, the easier it is, because what regulates you fastest isn't going to necessarily be the thing that regulates me fastest. So for me, probably my easiest, simplest is a movement practice, and that could just be walking around the block. But for you, that might look different. Like you might, prefer breath work, but being in tune enough with your body to know and test them out, figure out which one works the easiest for you, and have those in your toolbox when life starts lifing, which it does. And, then we can really start to learn why our bodies react in the way it is and to start helping it respond to situations in healthier ways.
I love that. And it's 2025. It is okay to rest. I feel like that's a message that keeps coming through. Rest is so important. Through rest is where you find what comforts you the most during these times. Also, I just want to emphasize one tool. I don't even know if this is a tool, but spirit keeps showing me what I would do when I would be in stressful situations. I would take frankincense, the essential oil, and I would just smell it. And I feel like it would just ground me. It would just pull me down and be like, okay, I'm back to center. So it's what resonates with you. And I think that's so important. It may not be what is completely fit for another person. Turning it, switching it, doing what you need to do to make it authentic to you is so important when you are learning through somatics and different tools and exercises.
Yeah, I think essential oils is such a good one to mention and can, get overlooked, but lavender has such an amazing calming effect for every species, not just us humans, but lavender can be an amazing tool. Holding a crystal, I've got on my desk this little rose quartz crystal. When I'm in stressful meetings or sessions, I will just hold it in my hand and I 100% feel that it regulates me.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, crystals, I'll hold my hand and I'll feel the energy just like protecting my aura. So I just feel into that vibration and become one with it and it really helps too.
I'd like to have the final aspect of this topic for now, because I know we're going to cover it a lot more later, be the conversation around how we feel things in our bodies when we're in session with clients. So I would love to hear, I'm sure you have sensations that you have when loved ones come through, and I know I definitely do as well. Adam, can you share how that presents for you, and then I will do the same?
Absolutely. So when I start a session, I obviously get us both into oneness and I initially do a body scan. So in my mind's eye, my third eye, I will just body scan what's going on in their energetic and physical bodies. But physical, I feel it in my body. So if they're having like a muscle pain in their shoulder, I'll feel that muscle pain in my shoulder. I won't attach to it, but I'll put awareness on it and I know that, hey, there's something going on with their shoulder and I'll mention it. And I think that body scans are very important when I am processing what's going on in their energetic bodies because a lot of the times my gift is working through stored emotions, especially during inner child when they were children. They may not even know that they're holding it or, that they need to process it. But through that energetic exchange with the body scan, which is just head to toe, and I just either see green, red, or yellow. And if they're processing emotions, I literally see almost like a dam backed up. So like a bunch of rocks backed up. And typically it's around their solar plexus chakra, which then I know it's gut inner child kind of anger that they're dealing with on a deeper level. And we process it the way that spirit aligns me. I just open myself up and allow them to channel through me. So it could be a visualization, it could be a meditation. Spirit may call them to stretch or to just literally shake their hands and their shoulders and their heads, or whatever spirit is calling them to do. As long as it's comfortable with them, I definitely recommend it. But yeah, I definitely know that I work very deeply with stored emotions with somatics.
Be sure to check out the show notes below to see if you're the winner of our giveaway.
But every session is completely different. So how does it come through for you?
Yeah, thank you for that. That's great. That's really good information. I get a lot of felt sense in when somebody's loved one from the other side is coming through, or even their angels, but especially loved ones. And I think probably because like that was the catalyst for my journey. But I'll feel like a tingling in my head. I will oftentimes feel sensation in my ears. And I will frequently feel them touch my face or my hands. So I like that is to me always, and it will, because I, similar to you, go through their chakras when I'm in a session. And so it will always tie to something that is information they need from that chakra, whether it's something to heal an issue with the relationship with the loved one on the other side, whether it's related to a message or a sign that the loved one wants to give them from the other side. I will physically feel sensation. So I would liken it to a whisper of touch on whatever part of my body, like my hand or my face. Like it is very light, but it's very much there.
Yeah, Spirit has a funny way of doing it sometimes as well. Like before a session, if someone's having toe problem, I may drop my phone on my toe randomly. And I'm like, okay, I have to bring this up because this was so random. And typically it's something to align with their life. But I love that you mentioned that because I don't know, this is just a quick topic of energy related subjects, but when you're in a room where someone's heading towards you, like a physical body is heading towards you, and they might move their right shoulder, you move your body before their physical body gets to you. So there's constant energy outside of our physical bodies that we're attuning to and adjusting to. And I like that you said a soft whisper, because typically it is just that, you know, you might get like the chills behind the ears, or your hair might stand up behind your
Yeah.
head, and it's very soft and gentle. But even walking into a room and getting chills sometimes, like, you know, there's energy here, and
Yeah.
it's always loving vibrations. It's always loving vibrations. So if you're one listening that you're like, oh my goodness, this resonates with me, I feel this all the time, allow your physical body to go that one step deeper, that one step deeper. So
That's a really good point. And I will get like full when I get signs myself or a huge download or message from the other side, I will get like full body chills. Like, and it's very specific. It's a different feeling than when you're cold. It's a very specific tingling feeling that for me is a physical validator of what's coming through to me.
I love that. I love that. Well, this was such a beautiful episode. I'm so excited for the ones to come following up on this topic, because in today's world, our physical bodies are our temple, and it's where our divine healing comes from, and our divine feminine feels safe in. And so utilizing this topic and really getting in touch with our physical bodies is so important in every aspect of your life. And I'm glad that we get to bring it and educate others on it.
Me too, me too. And I do have one more thing I want to mention because I've touched on it in previous episodes, so which I didn't think I would ever talk about. But I know in a past episode I mentioned getting like God consciousness, Christ consciousness, energy. I have a very specific physical sensation when that's happening, and it's literally like my whole body is filled with electricity, and it's like almost a lightheaded out of almost out of body experience, but it's literally my whole body, including my mind, is like lit up, like just yeah, just in a very high vibrational, specific sense of being that's completely different than how I normally physically operate. So I just wanted to mention that because it is such a strong feeling. It's almost, I mean, overwhelming in a positive way, like a gratitude, magical way, not in a negative way at all. But it is a very specific felt sense in my body.
I love that. I love that topic. I feel like that's another episode we're going to have to do in the future, because it lights me up.
Well, this is such an important topic, and as we've mentioned throughout the episode, we're definitely going to have more and more conversations in here. And if you're interested in joining the community, Somatics is an important part of the sessions that I do for the community, and it's definitely something that we're going to have special guests in the community on besides just myself. So if you're interested in joining the Soul Revival community, we'll have the links in the show notes. So we would love to have you. And as always, we want to encourage you to follow and rate the podcast, because it helps us. It helps us reach more people, more like-minded people that need to hear about these amazing tools to help them heal. So with that, thank you so much, and listen to your body. Just go out this week, set the intention of saying no to 25% of things that don't resonate with you. Just set that intention.
I love that. I love that. All right, Lindsay, you have a good day.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
If today's words stirred something in you, that's no coincidence. Your soul is speaking and it's ready to be heard. If you resonated with today's episode, Spirit is cheering you on, encouraging you. Start choosing yourself again. Start saying yes to your healing and join our sacred community over at www.thesoulrevival.com.
Because healing is better when we do it together. If you love this episode, be sure to hit follow, leave a review, and share this with someone who's ready to return to their soul self. Thank you, Aligned Souls.